Today we're finally moving fish I bought a while ago into their new home. These fish have been sitting in a tank to make sure they're all healthy before we add them to the big tank. We had some issues at the beginning where the water was too toxic for the fish and we were really worried if they were gonna make it. However, it's safe to say that the fish are finally doing good and there's no health problems whatsoever. That means it's finally time to add them to the big tank that they've been waiting to go into. Now you might be wondering, what tank is that? Well, it's this tank right here. This is the 90-gallon discus tank. The Amazon tropical fish tank, whatever you want to call it. And the fish we're actually going to be adding are down here. So these fish are called cardinal tetras and corydoras. I'm going to add them at the same time because they're all quarantining together. And as you can see, there's a lot of them. And there's a lot of little catfish, which are the cories. These are called stir-by cories. They're one of my favorite fish of all time now, and I'm so happy I got them. Well, when you get new fish, you want to make sure you're quarantining them, which means putting them in a separate tank so that you know that they're all healthy and good before you introduce them to your big tank where there's a lot harder to take care of and treat if an issue were to break out. And these are typically your fish you've had for a while, so you really don't want any issues with that. In this tank, we have a lot of discus, and we also have some cardinal tetras here, but you can see there's only 4 of them. And in the last video when we bought the new guys down here, we actually really wanted to make sure we got them some new friends because they're feeling kind of lonely and they just kind of pick on each other a little too much because there's not enough of them. Excuse me, Mr. Fish, we're not talking about you right now. We're talking about these guys back here. And these fish, the little cardinal tetras, are known for schooling and staying in big groups. And only 4 of them? That's not enough to make them all happy. Now it's finally time to add their friends into that tank, and I just can't wait to see how they react when you add a lot more. They tend to hide in this corner and don't really do much other than stay in this corner, and hopefully with a bigger group of them, they'll be more adventurous and willing to like explore the whole tank. So over here, this guy has been getting picked on a little bit too, and his tail has a couple of nips from the other ones because they get quite aggressive towards each other. Again, if there's not enough of them. But there's just one big challenge. This tank is not ready to get some fish. If I asked you guys, does this tank look good? You might be like, yeah, but in person, look at all this. Like, look at the snail shells in here. I have loaches that eat these snails, which is why I think they're over here. There's algae everywhere. The plants are just kind of overgrown a bit. This is no tank for new fish coming into their new home. We have to make it special for them. So how are we gonna do that? Well, I'm gonna trim the plants, scrape this algae, and get this tank nice and pretty for our new guys down here. These guys deserve much better for them to go into. This tank I'm not too worried about because it's just a 10-gallon holding tank. They're just in here until they're all ready to go up there. And now, it's finally time, like I said several times over. Also, I'll feed the other fish so they don't pick on the new guys too much. Now you might be wondering, why did I only get 4 of the little guys the first time? Well, you know the guy that interrupted the camera in the shot before? This guy, I think, started to get a taste for them and started eating some a while ago, but I don't think it was only his fault. I really think it was the angels over here and that I kept down there. And these guys are actually not the same ones, but another group of angels that I had in the tank with them. But, you know, in the wild, they're actually food for them, so they finally started eating them. To answer the question, I got them because I wanted to make sure that these guys wouldn't get eaten. And now that they're doing well and the discus are actually much bigger and okay, then now it's okay to add more of them. And I've just been waiting till I could find them and get some really nice ones. Let's go ahead and fix this tank up so it's all ready for the new guys. All right, I'm at the top of the tank and I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like from up here. So over here we have a bunch of plants that are overgrowing and the grass, and this blocks the light from getting down here, which is why a lot of it is super full of algae. So we're just gonna trim this all up, get it all nice, and then also allow the flow from the filter and stuff to help push the water a bit more. See you in a... All right, I trimmed all the plants and then I have to scrape all the algae. So you can see the tank, I got the filter cleaned up a bit, so now the water is much better and flowing. But you can see all the plants have been trimmed. Up there, they're no longer here. And then the only other thing is definitely getting this algae and then getting all this junk out of here. Guys, I just found something crazy and I did not expect this and I was really worried actually. So I'm cleaning this tank, right, getting all the dirt and stuff out, and the only thing I can think about, where are my clown loaches? I haven't seen them in a bit. I've only seen 1 or 2 at most in the tank, and I just never knew where they were, and maybe they died off, you know, got sick or something, because I've had issues with the clown loaches before, or I had the filter off for a period of time, the hurricane, like a bunch of different things, right, that maybe the clown loaches, and I never saw the bodies because I just haven't seen any. But I decided to remove the pieces of wood from the tank, and you will not believe what I found. I lifted up this piece of wood right here, and you can kind of see the tail of one, Let me grab it. But they have shoved themselves in here, and before there was like many more, and I don't believe they're stuck, but look at all of them. They're just shoving themselves in there. I don't want to disturb them. I think they've just like kept pushing into the wood, and last time I tried to get a fish out when they were in the wood, it really just made it worse. So I'm really gonna let them get out on their own. I don't believe they're stuck at all. There was another one in here, but they're really cuddling. So it makes me really happy that they're okay. They don't look too okay, you know, being all up in there, but I think they're very comfortable. Let's see what happens if we lift this out of the water. I'm more just concerned that they might be stuck, you know, with their barbs and things. But I don't want to stress them out if they're all good. You can see them moving, chilling. I really don't think they're worried. They all look healthy. They don't look like anything's wrong. I really just want to make sure that they're okay and not actually stuck. I don't believe they are. These fish like to get themselves into little predicaments. Look, I lifted out of the water. He's wiggling. He could definitely get out if he wanted to. Look. Okay, they're coming out now. Okay, I shook it a bit. They're definitely okay. All of them are, look at that hole. They were just all up in there. They're doing all right, and I just stressed them out. Sorry, little guys. Okay, I'm gonna put this wood back down. I really didn't expect them to be in there, and it makes me so happy because I was worried about adding the new fish to the tank if something was wrong and the loaches weren't doing well and just, you know, slowly dying off. But apparently everything's good. I just need to let the fish be. But it's good to know that they're okay. All right, let's get back to making this tank perfect for the new guys. Everybody's definitely a little bit stressed out, but I wanted to show you guys the clown loaches, which are finally out over there. So they're definitely just coming out at night and eating then. They've gotten quite big, so eventually they won't be able to fit in that log. But they're doing all right. Guys, look, I cut this from my tank. Look how long it is. It goes all the way, if I put it on the floor, it's almost as tall as me, and I didn't even cut it like at the full like end of it. So it probably would have reached the top of my head. Isn't that insane? Like, this thing was just growing behind over there, so it wasn't actually all across. It was just kept growing in like to a little ball, and then it just got huge. Update on the tank, I cleaned up the sand a bit. We're gonna do a water change, and then tomorrow is when I'll probably add the fish in, settle in it. That way the tank can settle a bit because the flow is a lot stronger now, and I disturbed a lot of things. While the tank is water changing and we're letting it settle, let's go ahead and feed the Corys and Cardinals down there that are gonna be added to the tank. Got the food, and then we're just gonna dump some in. I probably scared them. We'll put some in this quarantine tank too. These discus will be going into that tank as well after these guys go in, because this is more fish load. Want to make sure they're good going in, and then these guys can go in. The fish are starting to come out. The Cardinals definitely smell something in the water. Corys are starting to poke their little heads out. Here they come. I love the Corys. They're so cute. These guys are way more active than any other Cory I've had, I'm pretty sure. And there they go, eating the little pellets, sucking them up. He doesn't see it. It's right in front of him. Get it, little guy. There he goes. Oh, there's something over here getting a whole bunch of little, look at them going. I like how they like eat together and they just stay in a little group to make sure everybody's safe. And then they like inch towards the food and then pick it up. Oh, that Cardinal took it. See, look at the little group they have going. It's interesting that this guy's a lot darker than the ones back there. Just, you know, what makes him feel safer. He spit it out. They like spit it out, put it back in, making me softening it. And oh, he's getting close. He's getting close. There he goes. There he goes. Oh, he decided not to. They didn't want it. Something spooked them. Let's let this tank settle, and then I'll see you tomorrow. All right, it's the next day, and now it's time to finally add the fish into the new tank. Look at the tank behind me. It's super clear now. The fish are looking amazing. The sand is all white. The tank, I just think, looks so much. The light can actually enter the water a lot better and light things up. You know, we cut all the plants up there. You have this nice, like, glowy effect from the water rippling. The discus just looks so much better, which is gonna be amazing, especially when we add these little guys. There's two of them here. Oh, there's the other two. And they're gonna be much bolder with like a big group of them. And then I think the discus are gonna just look phenomenal, especially when we add more of them in here, and then the little scavengers and the catfish. So what's next is I have to catch these fish out from in here and then acclimate them so we can put them up there and just get them used to, actually, we don't have to do that because the water in here is the same as the water up there, same temperature, everything. So we can actually skip that part and just catch them and then put them up there real quick. So that's really good and really fast. But first, let's go ahead and feed the discus so that they're not hungry when we add the little fish in and they don't think they're the food. Here I got the food. Let's put this in here. I don't feed this food too much, but I'm running out of the food I do feed. Let's let them go ahead and eat. and they're just amazing. When they eat, they get kind of mean towards each other a bit, but that's okay. Yeah, some of them might not like this food as much because I used to feed it a lot, and then I stopped and switched to this food for a bit. This guy, don't think he's not a fan of this food. But the Discus have been breeding, so there's a lot of tension in the tank at times where like he's paired up with this one, and you see how he's pushing him, and she's like half the size of this big guy right here, which is kind of funny. They don't really do any damage, like their mouths are too tiny to do anything. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and catch them. Got one fish. There's a lot more in here. I think I have to switch to a bigger net. While I'm catching them, I'm also making sure that there's like no health problems that I may have missed, because now I can see them up close. So as you guys can see, here are some of the cardinals in the net and a little cory, and they're all looking pretty good. All nice and healthy. Definitely a little stressed. That should be all good. The corys are definitely harder to get. I think I've got most of the little tetra guys. And yeah, I don't see any more of them. Or now it's just the starbys to get. They like to hide under the net and things. And they're much faster, apparently. I got a big group of them. Look, they're all right here. Most of them. But you can see how wiggly they are. Full of energy. Just, double checking, make sure they're all good and happy. The hard thing with this net is like it doesn't fit underneath. Oh, got it. Okay, perfect. And then we're just gonna put them into this little container so I can pour them all out at the same time. I think the last guy is all the way back there. Just the last little one. And then the rest of the fish are all in here. They're definitely not staying in here too long. All right, I think I got everybody, and they're all in here. And there's quite a bit of them. I'm gonna try to count the corys just to make sure. And then we're gonna go ahead and pour them into the tank. Yep, I definitely got them all. I just counted all the corys. No losses. There was one that I think had like a little bump. I haven't seen in here. So they're all looking healthy. The cardinal's looking healthy. Random fact, did you know corys can release some kind of toxin in the water when they're like stressed and stuff? That's why like when corys get shipped, they put like carbon to absorb that. I learned that from Aquarium Co-op, but they're not gonna stay in here too long, so we don't have to worry about that. Look at all them. They just look so fun. You never get to see your fish up this close a lot of times because they hide a lot, but now you can see them all. We're just gonna pour them into this little hole, and the fish are all fed now, so they should be okay. Water, same temperature. And yeah, let's do it. I don't know what I'm waiting for. Maybe, yeah, let's open this side first. This side's much bigger. If I just move this back, that way I don't miss the hole and it accidentally goes somewhere else. There they go. Oh, good. Go, Cory. Okay, got the last one. Cardinals already grouping up, looking stunning. The Discus were picking at some, or like showed. That happens normally when you add new fish. Cory's stressed out a bit. Everybody's a little stressed. But these are the original 4 in this corner. And they haven't noticed the big group over here yet. Oh, they already look amazing. Look, already you see, like, before you couldn't even see these guys. You didn't even know they were in the tank. But now you can see them so much better. I kind of want them to notice because these guys have been on the alone for a long time. And then the corys, the little catfish, they're all back there getting adjusted. There's some up here, breathing a little heavy. It's okay. Cardinals, they just make such a statement. The corys will see more and more as they get comfortable. They'll catfish hide. These little guys don't even know yet. Come on, guys. They don't even know. There's like a whole big group over here. I don't want to scare them. I'll see like this guy. Don't get any ideas, mister. These guys were expensive and I really like them. And you're not gonna eat them. But there's a lot of plants in here, so if they do get chased, the fish, the tetras are smart enough, they'll dive into the plants. Also, that's why more of them do much better in the wild. They just, like the shiny pattern, it's hard for one fish to track one and to hunt it. Wait, there's only 3 over here now. Where'd the 4th one go? Did he group up with them? Where did the 4th one go? They always stay together for the most part. Oh, they're noticing. They're slowly making their way over. They see something. I think the 4th one already made it over. There they go. And now they're finally with their group. Oh, now you can't even tell. I think it's these guys over here, but that was just a giant group. That's awesome. I don't know, that's just funny to me watching fish unite with like another huge group. Oh, they just look amazing. Like now you can really see them. They already have like a presence in the tank, which is just awesome. And then over here, little corys. Oh, already sifting the sand, which is awesome. And these guys, I think are a lot more colorful than the other ones in here. I didn't end up actually removing the other ones because I just turned the temperature down a bit. So you can see the Malini Cories in there. That's the one right behind him. And then these guys are up here. This guy's all alone up at the front, being in a, you know, big adventure all by himself. Oh, there's also another one all the way over here. I think eating the food. Yeah, he doesn't even care. That's how comfortable he is. He's like, oh, free food, I'm just gonna eat it. Doesn't even matter. I just got moved to a giant tank. In comparison, the tank they were in was 10 gallons. This tank is 90 gallons. So it's huge in comparison, much more room for them and a lot more for them to do in the tank. These guys are just, you know, feeling safe in this corner. All right, I just adjusted the light to where I had it, and now you can see they just look so much better. That blue. See, I wanted this tank to have a lot more blue because these guys were a lot of red in here, and these have like this beautiful blue. So to balance it out a bit, I thought it'd be awesome. Having them makes me want to get another Tetra that's called a Rummy Nose and watching them school as well, which would be cool. But we're getting pretty stocked up in this tank, and I can add more fish, you know, because I have an automatic water change system, but you know, more fish, harder to maintain water quality. But I have plants and things, so we'll see. Definitely let these guys adjust before we go crazy trying to add more Tetras and things like that. If you enjoyed this video so far, make sure to subscribe and like down below, because I'm gonna be adding more Discus into this tank. These guys down here have yet to be added, and that's coming out soon. Tomorrow, I'm probably gonna be adding them to that tank. I just wanna make sure all the fish are doing well before I add anything else. Have a great and beautiful day. See you in the next one.